Tonight on the Night Team. More than a year after the greatest showing of heroism by LMPD, people are still rallying around those who responded to the Old National Bank mass shooting.
It is so encouraging. The money is going to be phenomenal. It's going to make a huge impact, but all the police department gets to look today and see how much their community cares about them.
Tonight, how a car show is helping raise money for continuing miraculous recovery of Officer Nick Wilt. Plus, as more states legalize marijuana, the state laws are coming in conflict with federal gun laws.
The use or possession of marijuana remains unlawful under federal law.
The concerns from gun store owners. And then celebrating what it means to be you.
They belong and that their life matters and that we want them here in our community.
The celebrations that are wrapping up Pride Month. Tonight on the Night Team. It's now been over a year since a gunman opened fire inside Old National Bank, killing 5 people. Had it not been for LMPD's quick response, officials believe more lives would have been lost. Now, today, those heroes are being honored at Mike Lenning's. It's our top story here on the Night Team. I'm Alex Dieterer. Officer Nick Wilt was one of the first officers on scene and was shot in the head. Since that time, Wilt has made a remarkable recovery, and support for him and his family has been widespread. WHAS11's Taylor Woods shows us how him and others are being helped with the Hot Rod Car Show.
From the roaring engines to the flyest cars and singing with the checkmates, hundreds of people packed the parking lot at Mike Lenning's restaurant for its Heroes and Hot Rides event. It's all for a good cause. The money raised goes to aid LMPD officer Nick Wilt in his recovery.
He is an amazing young gentleman that stepped forth in front of our police department and took it amongst himself to just protect us.
Barbara Ann Reese came out to support. She says April 10, 2023 is a day she will never forget. That's the day Officer Nick Wilt put his life on the line to save lives when 25-year-old Connor Sturgeon opened fire inside Old National Bank, killing 5 people. Reese is thankful for Wilt's service and other officers in the community.
In regards to our safety, our protection, and their undying time and dedication to the people of Louisville.
Surrounded by a community supporting him, Officer Nick Wilt handed out prizes to those who won in raffle drawings. Some of the money raised will also go towards the Louisville Metro Police Foundation's Distrust Fund to help officers' families.
I think this event shows us one more time how Louisville feels about its police. They respond to us on our very worst days. They are our heroes. They come in every time we call, no matter what.
Rebecca Grignon-Reeker, Executive Director of Louisville Metro Police Foundation, is grateful for the support shown.
I think it brings positivity, and that's what Louisville is. We love, and we love well, we love big, and I think it means so much to Nick. I don't think it means, I know it means so much to Nick.
Reese hopes this event will encourage others to support all first responders.
We just love you, and we thank you for your dedication.
In Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 Night Team on your side.
Nick Wilt's family has shared periodic updates about his recovery. His family said he was showing signs of semi-independence and is also able to walk with the use of a cane.
Little baby right here, this little pretty thing. She's had a hard time in life, and we're trying to make it better.
3-month-old Raylen Lily, who you just saw right there, hasn't had an easy start to her life. In May, Raylen was allegedly assaulted by the man who was supposed to be watching over her. The 3-month-old had gone into cardiac arrest 10 times. Bullock County EMS and the Lebanon Fire Department were on the scene quickly and able to get Raylen the help she needed. But now, her parents tell us it's a long road ahead for her, with seizures, therapy, and development delays for the baby girl. To help with the medical expenses the Lilies will have moving forward, the bike gang Defenders of the Defenseless held a ride for the innocent today from Louisville to New Haven.
I feel very humble that everybody's come together for her, and this group has done everything they can for us, and they're willing to do it for any kid.
These kids are our world. Everybody needs to understand that and stop hurting these kids. That's why we're here, to make sure that this either stops or we can bring it to a very low number, because kids are innocent. They didn't ask to be here, so somebody hurting one of these kids is just like hurting one of my own, and I don't like it.
41-year-old Bobby Crump, who's known to the family, was arrested on May 10th for assault and criminal abuse of a child 12 and under. According to the Bullitt County Sheriff's Department arrest citation, Crump was babysitting Raylen when she was found unresponsive, not breathing, and without a heartbeat. The citation said she was suffering from brain bleeds, retinal hemorrhaging, and spinal compression fractures. According to the citation, Crump admitted to shaking Raylen. Crump is expected in court August 5th. Well, winding down another hot day here in Kentucky, Anna Alden, still 80 degrees outside. And today we saw a little bit of rain, but I'm hoping that we're seeing more later on this week.
There is more rain in the forecast, which we definitely need. And coming up in a few minutes, I'll show you how much rain some of us saw today. It wasn't a lot, but it certainly was better than nothing. Max HD radar is much quieter now compared to earlier today, where we had a bit more widespread activity. Just a couple of isolated showers down there in Adair County at the moment. Henry County saw some heavy rain earlier, but that has since dissipated. 80 degrees, as you mentioned, at Ollie International Airport. Bowman Field in the east end coming in at 75, and it's not as humid as it was earlier either. We have a little bit of a light breeze too. Skies have cleared, and we'll continue to see that clearing over the course of it tonight, but still going to be a fairly mild at night for us. Temperatures only falling into the low 70s near downtown. Ahead, I'll show you when the heat really begins to pick up again.
All right, thank you, Alden. The first presidential debate is now just days away. It's happening this Thursday. President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are preparing for the debate in their own ways this weekend. President Biden spent the weekend at Camp David with his former chief of staff, Ron Klain. Meanwhile, former President Trump is on the campaign trail talking with voters. Some Democrats say President Biden should focus on economic policies.
Be out there for working families. And that's the contrast with Donald Trump, who's been out there telling his words, rich as hell donors, that if they will just give more money to his campaign, then he's going to cut taxes for billionaires.
Should I be tough and nasty and just say you're the worst president in history? Or should I be nice and calm and let him speak?
This Thursday's debate will be a bit different than when the two men faced each other back in 2020. There will be no studio audience, and the candidates' microphones will only be turned on when it's their turn to speak. Trump has still yet to officially name his vice presidential pick. However, the former president did say he knew who it was and that the person will be in attendance at the debate Thursday. On Trump's short list is North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, Ohio Representative J.D. Vance, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, New York Representative Elise Stefanik, former HUD Secretary Ben Carson, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, and Florida Representative Byron Donalds. However, Rubio and Donalds would have to change their residency if they wanted to join the ticket. The Constitution says two candidates from the same state cannot run as both president and vice president. Well, it's been 5 years now since famed chef and TV personality Anthony Bourdain tragically took his own life. After his passing, chefs across the world declared June 24th as Anthony Bourdain Day. Here in Louisville, a Taste for Life was created. The goal is to offer support for local restaurants and the community to raise awareness about mental health. Four Pegs owner Chris Williams says the event helps the restaurant community come together.
Tragically, when Anthony Bourdain took his own life, it really made us as chefs and restaurant folks look at each other and say, you know, if that guy's seemingly so happy and everything's going so great for him, why would he do something like that? And we realized it's because we're not talking about mental health and we're not talking about taking care of ourselves. So we wanted to put together an event that brought people together so we can actually have that conversation and let people know it's okay to not be okay.
Williams says the event started with 15 chefs and pop-up tents on a side street, and this year it grew to over 40 chefs in a giant tent closing down the main road on Goss Avenue. 100% of the proceeds from today go to NAMI, Louisville, and the Pete Foundation, which offers mental health services in the metro. As Pride Month comes to a close, Louisville organizations are reminding LGBTQ youth that resources and safe spaces are there for them all year round. Mandala House here in Louisville partnered with Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield Medicaid of Kentucky and All People's Justice Center today to host an event celebrating the community and letting the youth know that their voices are heard. Celebrating the voices of BIPOC, transgender youth and their allies. Mandala House Mental Health in Louisville hosted the Be You Block Party to encourage LGBTQ youth to be themselves.
We've always been very committed to gender-affirming care, and so it's a wonderful thing, of course, to help however we can.
Licensed clinical social worker Colgan Tyler has worked with the Mandala House since it opened 7.5 years ago.
As therapists, what we do is we help people find freedom, find love, and so we can try to support them in doing that however we can. To provide people a place where they can come just like any human being and talk about what they're dealing with in life, their struggles, their dreams, and hope to help them have a full life.
With several states passing bills targeting LGBTQ people, young people have seen a decline in their mental health. According to the 2023 U.S. National Survey on the Mental Health of LGBTQ Young People, nearly 2 in 3 said that hearing about potential state or local laws banning people from discussing LGBTQ people at school made their mental health worse.
People need to see people like themselves, and I know that I represent that for a lot of folks, especially LGBTQ young people.
Kentucky State Representative Keturah Herron joined the Mandala House festivities, hoping to continue to be a voice for her community.
I want to be in places so they can see somebody that looks like them, talk to them, and know that they belong here in our space, they belong here in this community.
And from Frankfort,
we still know that some of our elected officials are trying to take away the rights of LGBTQ people, specifically for our trans youth.
To Baxter Avenue in Louisville.
Although we have gone very far, we're still fighting daily.
Representative Herron is sharing the message of acceptance and inclusivity.
I am out here to let people know, especially our young people, to know that they belong and that their life matters and that we want them here in our community.
If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health, help is always available. You can call the number right here on your screen, which is the crisis hotline. You can dial 988 and someone is available 24/7.